Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title in today's video, we're going over every build's weakness on NBA2K20. We got all 10 pie charts listed right here, and we're going to be showing which pie charts each pie chart doesn't want to play against, whether it be for offensive or defensive reasons. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Let's do something crazy and try to get this one to 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours. Y'all have been going insane. Five video streak of just literally 20,000 plus views in the first 24 hours, and I can't understand that by any means, and I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So anyway, thank you guys so much for that, and like I said, if we could try to do something crazy, get this one to 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours, I'd really appreciate that. But without further ado, let's get straight on with the list. So this isn't like a ranking list, this is just me displaying which number we're on. So this is the first one that we're going to display, the pure rim, and then the pure lock as well. So as you can see, we got different height variants for this. This is going to be anywhere from probably like 6'5" to 6'8". This one right here is anywhere from like 6'9" to 7'3", where a pure rim's worst nightmare is somebody that's going to keep them away from the rim. So I'm talking a stretch big, a playmaking sharpshooter as far as like the point guard, or even a rim sharp at the big man spot as well. Y'all get the deal. A pure rim's worst nightmare is not being able to protect the rim. That's just the fact of the matter. Now, if you go a little bit shorter on the lockdown aspect of it, and you go with a short rim, obviously you're going to be able to switch on picks and stuff like that too, so you'll be able to guard ball. So it's not that big a deal when you play against like outside bigs, but when they're just constantly sitting in the corner and you can't really do anything as far as the defense goes, it's one major reason why the pure rims have kind of gone extinct this year, because a lot of the game is built on spacing and stretch bigs and stuff like that, and just straight up ISO. So again, that's one reason why pure rims never want to see a pure stretch, play sharp at the one, or a rim sharp as the big man. Y'all get the deal. But anyway, moving along to the pure lock, this is where their biggest nightmare is two people being able to handle the ball. So a lot of times when in this stage setting, right, on this 3v3 court, you're going to be coming in with one playmaking sharpshooter who's very low on defense, and then one lockdown, whether that be a play lock or a pure lock, two-way sharp, whatever it may be. Your lock is going to be guarding ball at all times. However, what they really hate to see, and it's very hard to run this because that means you have no locks on your team, but what a pure lock absolutely hates is to not be able to guard ball because the other team has two ball handlers. So this is the best idea I could come up with as far as like the things that pure locks never want to play against, and their weakness is just the double ball handlers that keep the ball away from them on defense and they get stuck in the corner. Moving along, number 2, we got the pure slasher. As you can see, we got different sizes of pie charts. Essentially, to break it down for y'all, the bigger the pie chart, the more of a weakness. The smaller the pie chart, the less of a weakness. However, if it's on this list, it's still top 4 weaknesses to this build in my opinion. So this is what's really cool about this list, is because, like I was saying earlier, a pure rim is not seen as a good build in this game. However, it's the best build in the game for stopping a pure slasher. So essentially, this video is all a food chain type aspect where, you know, a pure rim isn't a very good build, but like I was saying, it's super good for stopping the pure slash. And then at number 2, I have the finishing and defense pie chart. Obviously, like I said, the more defense you have, the better. And to add to it too, the finishing ability does make it kind of hard for this player right here to guard this one. And then a couple other small weaknesses that we have are like rim sharps that, you know, are still going to be able to defend them pretty well while still stretching the floor too. But it's not as much of a weakness because it's easier for this build to kind of just, you know, spot up in the corner, not have to worry about guarding this one. I'm taking offense and defense into account for this video. And then we have the play lock as well. Obviously, you're going to see this play lock on a lot of these weaknesses because this is by far the best build in the game. And just in general, you're going to see this on this list very often. So anyway, moving along, number 3, we got the play sharp. Like I was saying, as you're going to see, the play lock is going to be on here a ton. And the reason that I have this as the number 1 weakness for the play sharp is just if you're talking 2v2, for instance, right? Or even 3s. This build is generally always going to be guarding this build on ball. And for 2s especially, when they're both lined up at the 1, it is so much harder for this play sharp build to defend the play lock than it is for the play lock to defend the play sharp. And you guys know why. Obviously, you know, this game is, like I said, very built on the spacing, isolation, and just hop stepping like these builds do. You know, it still has the ability to green the 3s and stuff like that too. So this build right here for the play sharp is the worst nightmare when it comes to 2v2. And then even at that, you're going to see this build in the stage at the 3 or at the 2 guarding the play sharps as well on defense. And like I said, it's just by far the play sharp's biggest nightmare. So moving along to that, anything that has slashing in it is also going to be a problem for the play sharp. So the pure slasher, slash sharp, we got the finishing and defender, and then we have the pure play as well. That's also low-key a kind of a sleeper where it's super quick, still gets contact dunks, can still hop dunk and all that stuff too. And then my final weakness is another play sharp. So if a play sharp has to guard a play sharp, obviously going to be a problem, but if they're both matched up on each other, it's going to just be back and forth. Obviously, great offense, horrible defense. Y'all get the deal. Anyway, I feel like this one should be pretty easy for y'all to agree with. Also, if you have any disagreements, feel free to let me know. Just drop them in the comments. As you can see, we got number 4 with the play lock, and I have absolutely nothing. Like I said, I mean, let me know what y'all think. I guess post scores, I suppose, on the 1v1 court. But other than that, I mean, when it comes to 2s, if you have a play lock, you're not going to have any weaknesses. That's my opinion. Y'all feel free to let me know if you disagree with it, but I literally cannot think of a single build that really is this build's kryptonite. It's just, it's kind of sad, really. But anyway, move along. Number 5, we have the PureSharp. Now, obviously, this is kind of the same thing as the PlaySharp, where if it's a playmaking defender who has the versatility to really cook this build on defense and then still is going to guard it really well, anything that has slashing in it is obviously going to give a PureSharp problems because it's generally going to be smaller with not very good interior defense. I didn't really make a pure stretch variant of this, but I feel like the principle kind of still stays the same. I guess for a pure stretch, a PlaySharp would probably be on here just because, you know, you don't really want to guard that. But long story short, we're keeping this just to the PureSharp in like the backcourt sense. So anything with slashing in it is going to be a problem. The Pure Play, again, it's basically the same exact thing as the PlaySharp. So we're just going to move along with that. Play Slash. So you can call it a slash play, play slash, the Joe Knows build, whatever you want to call it. Long story short, it's the wing build that has contact dunks, good playmaking ability, can shoot while it's open. However, it doesn't have the defense that the play locks bring to the table. And you can see I have the play locks sort of in the category of this. But what I want to kind of address is the fact that this build usually has very low perimeter defense. It's hard to bring the perimeter D to this build when you try to fill out everything to do with the playmaking, finishing, and shooting. So what gives me the most problems with my variant of this build is definitely true point guards. Anybody that can like score from the perimeter and maybe even still get past you as far as like, you know, finishing ability. It's super hard to guard these people with low perimeter D and 1 defensive badge. It's a complete problem. And then obviously anything to do with finishing, a pure lock or a pure rim is going to be your worst nightmare. This is just a pain to go against if you're a slasher. And then again, to kind of stem to that, we have the finisher build as well with the finishing and defense. We got the play lock, pure slash, and then another play slash. Obviously, it's kind of the same thing as the play sharp. If you got 2 of these builds going against each other, you're just gonna be hop dunking. You're just gonna be hop dunking each other all day because you both have horrible defense. But let me know if anybody made that build with solid defense. I just feel like it's so hard to do because you want to fill out the playmaking, finishing, and shooting so much, and they just don't leave you with many attribute points left over. But anyway, moving along, number 7, we have the slash defender. This is my main build, the 6'9" finisher. You can obviously make this at different heights and like positions and stuff like that too. But I've found my least favorite things to go against, obviously one is going to be the pure rim. Like I was saying, any build with slashing in it is going to absolutely hate it. Now, if you're talking 1v1 or even 2v2, if you're setting screens with this, obviously the pure rim, depending on its height, is not going to be as much of a problem, because if you have a 7'3" and you're setting screens, it's not going to be too big a problem where, you know, you're kind of just, if this dude's camping paint and your point guard's getting open, it's kind of whatever. But one thing I absolutely hate to go against is these rim sharps, where I've kind of found my way around it because I have my teammates play on a taller build so that I can guard ball, and then my taller play sharp is going to be guarding like the corner when I play 2s. But for most, like, you know, for most slash defenders, the biggest pain is going to be playing these rim sharps where you get stuck in the corner. You want to provide your good defensive ability, but again, you're kind of just stuck in that area, and it kind of resonates with the pure rim, where if you have good defense but you're at the big man spot, it's just a pain, man. It's an absolute pain. And then in the backcourt, obviously this build doesn't provide the best shooting ability or playmaking. You got to kind of settle on one of them. So again, I kind of just took this and made it the big man variant is what I'm showcasing. And then a pure play is low-key a slept on one that I struggle to guard, where they have really good speed. They have really good ability to hit their wide open jumpers. It's basically the play lock, right? But with the play locks, you can generally bait them to driving a lot more when you're guarding them. And the pure play is a lot more unpredictable. It's a lot quicker. And again, the boost and jump shot ability is low-key slept on. I feel like the pure play is one of the most slept on builds in the game. And speaking of which, we have this at the number 8. And again, this is not me ranking anything. It's just, you know, the 8th build that I'm showcasing. So in my opinion, a pure lock is going to be pretty problematic for this. However, obviously spacing is one thing that is taken into account. I would just say, long story short, you're going to see the pure lock on here quite a bit, just because obviously no build likes to deal with the pure locks. But obviously another one is going to be the play lock as well, where basically they're the exact same build. It's just one has a little bit more driving dunk ability and has more defense, whereas this one has a little bit more shooting and a lot more, you know, speed with ball and ball handling. However, it's not really that different if we're being real with the speed with ball aspect. They're both pretty much the same level of playmaking ability. This one just has more defense, less shooting. This one has less defense, more shooting, and it doesn't really show on the pie charts, but it is like that. But anyway, obviously a thing that a pure play is not going to like to deal with, again, is just the fact that they have low interior defense, so a pure slasher and play slash are going to be pretty problematic in that aspect. Moving along, number 9. We have the defending and shooting pie chart. So I split this into two. We got the two-way sharp, which is like I said, anywhere from say 6'3", 6'4" to probably like 6'7" or 6'8". And then the rim sharp, I'm considering anywhere from 6'9" to 7'3". I wouldn't recommend to make this build 7'3", but long story short, I really only had 2 weaknesses for these builds because there's such a glue build in the aspect of like they don't really have many weaknesses. Obviously, this one has okay playmaking ability with good shooting, good defense, and solid finishing. This one is just a glue build as the bigs go, so it has good defense, good shooting. Probably lacks in both of these areas, but I would say the only thing that these really have as a true weakness is the play lock, where obviously if you're getting ISO'd by this as a big man spot, like say a playmaking glass cleaner, it can be very problematic depending on your height and your speed and stuff like that. And I don't know, some of these dudes really be getting put on an island, bro. It's really bad. Also, that was a really bad stutter. Anyway, moving along to the two-way sharp. Like I said, I feel like the play lock is the only notable one here. You could maybe say a play sharp, but I just feel like it's not notable enough. If anything, these two-way sharps probably prefer to play the play sharp rather than the play lock, just because it fits more of their defensive style, the perimeter defense centric, rather than interior defense, where interior defense lacking is obviously going to struggle against this build. Moving along, number 10, and this is the final one, we have the slash and shooting pie chart, and I split this into 2 as well. As you can see, this is, like I said, the number 10, and all I can say is, with this post score variant, the only weakness I'm going to say is pretty much a play sharp. And you'd probably sit here and think like, whoa, Laker, you're talking 1v1 court, play sharp over a post? I'm not saying this is like, this build is better for the 1v1 court than a post, but I will say, obviously post scores, they could care less if a slasher is going to play them. They're 7'3", they got good interior defense, and then a slasher can't hang with their scoring ability. Now obviously a play sharp can't hang with the post score scoring ability either, but it is a whole lot harder for these guys to defend this build right here than it is a slasher, where, you know, this build's speed and shooting ability, and the fact that when they have to guard up tight on you, and then this build can still get past it and dunk really well, it's a problem for these guys. Now, obviously you have to play out of your mind with a play sharp to be able to just, you know, take it to a post. And I understand there's different archetypes and pie charts that the post scores can be used on, but I was just using this one as the example. And then for the slash sharp, so we're talking like the BP build, right? So I'll say anywhere from 6'1" to 6'5". I would say the builds that this build struggles to defend are obviously going to be the play lock. This is, like I said, one of the glue builds that you're going to see on this list a whole ton. And then we have the play sharp as well. And then we got the two-way sharp. As you can see, it just gets insignificantly slower or lower as far as like the weakness goes as you go down this list. So again, play lock, play sharp, two-way sharp. I feel like this one right here, you could probably even put like a pure lock next to, but I didn't want to stretch it too far. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. Let's try to get this one to 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours. Like I was saying, I kind of went through straight on this commentary. I probably only made like 2 cuts or so. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. And if you made it to the very end of the video, put list in the comments to show your support that you made it all the way through to this point. Anyway, again, I wanted to just show mad love to everybody who's been supporting, bro. I might even start streaming a whole lot more. You guys probably even saw a stream. I'm recording this late at night, the night before, but Treasure Hunters is going on right now. I'm hoping that I probably loaded on a stream sometime around then, but anyway, I don't want to stretch this out too far. Appreciate all the love and support y'all been showing. It means a ton to me, but other than that, hope y'all enjoyed, and take it easy, man. Peace.